we know very little about Pakistan outside of what we read in the newspapers today. There's a very vibrant commercial community in the major cities such as Karachi, and a vibrant corporate community involving the banking sector. We're very pleased to be able to speak today with Mr. Atif Bajwa, the President and CEO of MCB Bank, the fourth largest bank in the country and one of the more progressive institutions that could be compared to some of the better institutions outside of Pakistan. Thank you very much for speaking to us, Mr. Bajwa.
My pleasure.
Give us a sense of MCB Bank. What imagery are we to trigger in our minds when we think of an MCB Bank in Pakistan today?
MCB Bank in Pakistan is today known for being a progressive organization, for being a customer-oriented, customer-centric organization, and one that has for years been the leader in terms not only of profitability ratios, but also in terms of the strength of the balance sheet. And the brand name of MCB is very well recognized across the country. It has approximately 1,100 branches across the country. And it has a very loyal customer base, ranging from traders, small businessmen, to individuals, to large corporates as well. So it is a bank that was privatized in '91, one of the first banks to be privatized, and has had a reasonable period of time in which to continue to build on the strengths that it had inherited from the past.
How would you reconcile what the politicians say as to being a failed state, Pakistan, and yet on the corporate front, you've got banks with very good balance sheets such as yours?
Perception from the outside is not always positive, but it is seldom steeped in reality. The reality in the country is not as stark or dark as people perceive it to be. There is a vibrant economy. The corporate profits, in fact, in the last few years have, despite the financial crisis, global financial crisis, which also affected Pakistan, corporate profits have been pretty good, and in the last 6 months we've been seeing them rising as well. So there is this so-called war on the terrorists, which is taking place in very small pockets of the country, and it's quite isolated from the large business centers of the country. So in large part, Pakistan continues to function as a successful and vibrant economy.
The elements of the economy that drives profitability of your bank, would it be trade, would it be agriculture, would it be remittances, or are there aspects of that are missing?
There are different aspects of our growth story. Big part of that is being able to serve the SME customers and our large corporate customers. A fair amount of investment did take place in the first part of the decade, and we saw growth rates in the economy of course also quite high. So in that earlier part of the decade, there was a lot of growth taking place in terms of financing of new products and new projects and new project financing opportunities that were coming about. At the same time, agriculture has started picking up significantly. So we are focusing on providing the right products and services to the agricultural belt, and that has shown significant growth to us. We are also looking at expanding our business with the underbanked or unbanked population of the country. It's clear that banks have not yet penetrated large segments of population, which for one reason or the other in the past have been ignored. With the advent of new technology, we believe that there is a far more effective and cheaper way of accessing that customer base that was ignored in the past perhaps. There's a lot of effort that banks like ourselves are now making through mobile banking and other alternate delivery channels to be able to provide the right products and services to
let's drill down a little bit into 2 or 3 of those segments that you mentioned. Agriculture. What makes agriculture profitable today for banks such as yours in a way that it wasn't possible before?
Well, there are 2 sides of it. One is that there is a transfer of wealth taking place because commodity prices have risen, and farmers in general have been encouraged to produce different commodities, and in the process of doing that, they're looking for financing because they need financing for seeds, for fertilizer, and other inputs into the process. So that gives us an opportunity for supporting them on the lending side. But as the inflows start coming in from the sales of these produces, you have a different opportunity with the same farmers and the agriculturalists, which is what to do with their wealth. And so the opportunity for banks is to increase their wealth through the right products and services, whether they are savings accounts or they are investment products that can be sold to them. So this actually opened up a whole range of different opportunities for banks.
On the unbanked sector, how would you describe your involvement in that sector in a way that exposes you to the risks in that sector, but at the same time protects the institution from any downside risks in that sense?
No, we are directly accessing the customers. Let me give you a few statistics. There's a very successful penetration of the population by the telecom sector. So there are about 100 million SIMs in the country. Real customers, probably around 60 million customers. We have in the banking sector just about 30 million accounts and probably approximately 14 million customers. That means that we have the opportunity to go and increase banking accounts through the telecom penetration by 4 to 5 times. So that platform, that penetration already exists through the successful efforts of the telecom sector. Why is it not possible for the banking sector to provide services on the phone that already people have in their hands? And that's the real challenge that we have tried to take on. And we are providing a technology that takes banking services onto the telephone. So we are very excited about this opportunity.
How much of that is reflected on your balance sheet today? Is it a balance sheet business, or is it a fee-based business now for you? Or
it's a fee-based business.
And
what are we trying to capture here is there is a balance sheet element, of course. We are trying to capture some of their flows primarily. That flow of money brings with it balances that customers keep on in their accounts with us. So that's the balance sheet impact. But primarily, we want to be the most convenient transactional bank in the country.
Yes, but what percentage of your total business now comes from this?
Well,